Live, going live, 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 live.
You gonna play the intro, Mr. Alive over there?
Oh shit! We have an intro.
We have an intro.
Oh shit! Wait, I'm not with it this one. I woke up late. I need coffee. Coffee, the lifeblood that runs my everyday existence. Hello, everyone. Excuse me. And welcome to Slip Into the Night at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
this
we're
week
paradoxical.
we will be discussing cleansing and banishing, and other ways to get squeaky clean. Our guest this week, the bald guy on the Mr. Clean bottle.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that.
Yeah, the Holly had hit me up this week about the topic, and you gave me was it a list of 3 or 4 things?
Yeah, it's just 3 or 4 things. I'm like, which one appeals to you?
Yeah.
And you said,
and I thought that in keeping with the way we've been doing our thing here, it's a good way to continue the kind of the line of discussion that we've been having, about going into things, because we kind of started kind of light and then kind of delved into different areas. Did you ever look into that thing about abracadabra that I sent you anymore? I did.
I did a little bit. I'm not sure.
And so the basis for that thing that I sent you, is that there is a theory that that abracadabra comes from an Aramaic word, which is much like abracadabra or something like that, which translated means I will create as I speak, or something to that effect.
Right.
I have to look it up, but
I think that's about right.
Yeah, and I thought it was fascinating. It makes total sense to me. Like, I will create as I speak it's very profound. Willing things through word. It's all like the basis of magic. And I just found that was really interesting, although they tried to make it out to be that it was like a Hebrew word, but that it came from Aramaic. And you and I were having the discussion, and you were like, yeah, but Aramaic came after Hebrew.
Well, that's my understanding. I am definitely not an expert on that.
Yeah,
and I agree with you. I love the sentiment of it. I just it's some of the facts maybe were not.
Yeah, so I don't know all the particulars. I think if that's the case, if it does come from that, if it does mean I will create as I speak, that's very, very cool.
I absolutely agree.
But the whole the thing is like, I want to know where it came from, because its origins kind of define it in a lot of ways. However, the way it's looked at also, that we've looked at it, can also give it its own definition in a way.
Correct. Yep.
By the belief structure being this thing over the course of so many years. I mean, people make that goddamn triangle thing out of it where they take the letters off each level,
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
know.
know. Ugh.
And,
Ugh.
and it's if if it wasn't spelled that way originally, then how does that work? That's like when people point out to things like an English translation and something else.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, really? Like we're stretching here, people. We're
Mhm.
stretching.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah.
Well, and words have an energy to them, and so to kind of keep with our topic, like how you speak does have an energy to it, and you have listened to songs which are spoken, lyrical energy or words, and you can feel the energy of it, whether it's a sad, statement or song, or you can listen to a very powerful speaker and you can know like the power of their words. Like words can carry power. So, how we speak, seems very intuitive to me, is reflects how we are creating. Um,
Yeah.
but
And
to
I
our
mean,
topic, that if you're, we're talking about clearing and cleansing, that there is like maybe that you can be speaking in a way or creating in a way that is maybe heavy, or you may be having this kind of heavy energy in your life, and why would would you want to change that, or how
well,
you would change that?
in any of the practices that I've known, you have daily cleansing and banishing rituals
Hmm.
every day.
Hmm.
You clear your space. It
Hmm.
is a daily, normal, routine thing you do.
Hmm. And what would you do?
Um, when it varied in the beginning. It really varied. I had no direction. Um, but later on, I would do banishing rituals. There's this one book, Modern Magic, that I followed, that he recommended like a relaxation ritual, which is basically just laying down and trying to visualize light relaxing your body, so that you got into more of a I don't know, a different vibratory. The way I took it, if being in a more relaxed state made you in a different vibratory state, it gave you a little more access to things that you normally wouldn't have if you're like fully awake. If you're not like like, or energized, you don't have that relaxed, grounded sense. And then you would do a banishing ritual. And they had other rituals that you would do daily, like building auras, circulation, energy
Hmm.
circulation rituals, things of that nature.
Hmm.
Um, but it was a daily thing that you did every day. You would do these banishing rituals.
Hmm.
And in the traditions that was following, you would do a thing to banish both negative and positive energies. You were trying to get like um I almost want to call it like zero sum space.
Like a neutral space.
Yeah, just like a clear slate, just
Hmm.
nothing.
Hmm.
Um, and then work from there.
Hmm.
But I mean, like I said, any of the traditions that I've looked into, um, been a part of,
Hmm.
studied, I've always known any of them to have some type of banishing ritual or closing off of a space,
Hmm.
something.
Right.
Um, and the other thing that I would do a lot of, like, would be with like sacred tools, crystals, or anything like that. You'd bury
Hmm.
them, either bury them or put them in salt to cleanse them for like a period of time. Usually, do it from the full moon to the new moon.
Yes. Yeah. So, like in the kind of the traditions I've studied, it is sometimes energy can become stagnant in what, like in most of the teachings that I've followed, which are shamanic based. You want energy to be kind of clear and flowing. You don't want it to puddle, and you don't want it to stop moving. So, like one of the words the shamans use is like hucha, which is heavy energy. That's heavy and sticky, and it's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily it may not be what you want in your energy field. You want the energy that you want. They call sami. So there are different ways to clear the hucha from your personal energy field and the extension of that, which is your home and your environment. So one of the very basic ways is to clean your environment and keep it moving and decluttered, because cluttered space can collect the sticky energy, and it can slow down the movement of energy. And this is very similar to the thought of in Chinese kind of energy work, which is feng shui. They have lots of ideas about how to arrange a home or an environmental space, a garden, how to build your house structure to promote the flow of energy so that it's not puddling. But at the same time, you know, at certain places you don't want so much energy flow that it's taking all your good energy away with it as well. So it is one thing is to the way you position your furniture and how you keep your space clean. Another way to do it is to you know, use incense of some kind. One of them might be the sage. It could be Palo
Oh
Santo
no,
wood.
I go with the liquid blue.
You go with liquid blue.
Liquid blue incense. You know, they got all those fucking rainforest Glen and fucking goddamn humpback whale dream.
No, so you bypass the patchouli and go right to the.
I go right past the frankincense and myrrh and straight to Emerald Garden.
Emerald Garden. Yeah. So
there is one that can be used as a, and I would say any kind of scent can be used in a ritual if you associate it such. But there is a scent amongst the traditional scents that is related amongst all of the symbolism, which is called dragon's breath. I do know that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. But. So it is the thought that burning these like botanical scents, there is something in the smoke or the smudge that also helps move that heavy energy away and can clear the space. Like you mentioned, salt is another one, and you can sprinkle salt and then and it will absorb. That's a very old thing that you would take an item and put it in salt, and it would draw out, and then you would throw out that salt out into the environment, and it would just get washed away. And that would be a way to cleanse an object like a crystal or something that a ring or something that you've picked up at a secondhand. Maybe if you've gone to the bookstore and got some kind of funky Kama Sutra, and you want to cleanse it, you smudge it, or you put it in some salt.
Yeah.
Or you set it out in the sunlight. Sunlight is another very old way of cleansing energy.
You can wrap it in salt and bury it. You can just put it in salt. I know people who have like indoor gardens they just bury their stuff in their own little indoor gardens, like in little those long wide things that they put in the windows. But it's a symbolic thing, really, for the most part. If you ask me, a lot of it is your brain is trained to see things a certain way. I mean, we look at the waning moon time as a time of energy going away. That light energy is leaving the moon. It's not growing. It's fading away.
And it takes energy with it.
Right. So we associate that with it. And I think that's when you're doing it intentionally, you're giving it that purpose. You know, you're giving it purpose. You know, otherwise it's just a thing. Like it's just a crystal. It's just a whatever. It's just a excuse me, chalice that you're cleansing to use in your rituals or whatever. It's just an object. You give it power. Like that's the whole idea behind it. Like as with, you know, when you're a Catholic and you eat a goddamn wafer and you say it's the body of Christ. It's the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you are using something else to symbolize something in a ritualistic fashion. That's all it is. It's just that other people do it differently. You know, they decide to get all fancy with their robes and shit and drink the wine, eat the wafer. Other people just do little
Well,
simple things.
right. And like, you know, in that tradition, baptism is very much a clearing, cleansing type of a thing where you are either sprinkled or dunked with water, and that is a ritual to clear and cleanse the energy field and rebirth you into that tradition.
And I do believe you can do that as many times as you want in that religion, those types of religion, but generally they only do it the once. Not many people go back for second baptisms. Not that I'm aware of. I don't know anybody like serial Baptists, like where they go back over and over and over again to get baptized.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how many times I could get baptized in a day. Maybe I should have set something like that up.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of cool.
Hmm.
Just go around and get baptized. Like go from church to church.
Yeah, well, generally though, that there is some kind of discussion ahead of time and like statement of intent, and that you're gonna like, you know,
Are you
change.
kidding me? They have like drive-through weddings in Vegas. I'm sure they got drive-through baptism somewhere.
I'm not disagreeing. They probably do.
Probably pay some guy $10.
And, you know, my believe it or not, my brother-in-law is now a minister, so I can
Hey,
ask him. Yeah,
yeah,
I
let's
know.
find out. I'll tell him, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I have a friend.
Have a friend.
I have a friend with a sense of humor.
Oh.
Uh,
And
hey,
so
listen.
that's
In my
oh.
defense, Holly. In my defense. I do keep the Buddy Christ on my desk every day. He's here
Well, and
all the time.
I actually, you know, I I actually feel very much great appreciation for the teachings of Jesus or Yeshua or whatever you want to, you know, pronounce his name.
That
He
dude.
actually, that dude, Buddy Christ,
The dude. Let's just call him the dude.
the dude.
Like,
I actually don't have any. I don't have any qualms with his teachings. It's some of the later stuff by Paul and
I know blackface is bad, but if we blackfaced fucking Jeff Bridges, that's pretty much Jesus.
wow. What did you put in your coffee? I thought you were gonna detox off of the.
No, listen, I said fucking Super Bowl's coming up, and I don't know that I could go up and watch the Super Bowl with my cousin and not smoke weed. So that's kind of off the table until then.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the water cleansing with water is a big one.
Yeah.
You know, and fire using the elements. So we've got earth, burying it in the earth, dunking it in, free flowing water, outside living water.
I think if the crazy ones could go with the fire route more
Mhm.
often,
Mhm.
you know, like dousing themselves in gasoline and lighting
Right.
themselves on fire.
Right. So
If
fire.
you're a crazy extremist,
Uh-huh. Yeah. So fire is the other one of the other big elements used to cleanse and purify, and so it would be having a fire ceremony where you start a fire and set some intention, and you either put the object in the fire to cleanse it, or sometimes you can like write things out and burn papers. That's done.
Yeah.
That is a big actually way for I've never done this, but banishing people is to put that intent on a piece of paper, and say there is someone you're not getting along with and you don't want them in your life. You would put that intention on a piece of paper and put it into the fire. Now, I'm not saying that anyone should do that or not, but that is something that has been done historically.
Right. Yeah. There's the general rule is, for me anyway, is like just to stick to me. Like if I'm gonna go down these paths and do these things, I'm just gonna stick to me. I don't see any sense in to try to alter, adjust anybody else's life. Just my own. Like my own course is fine. I don't see the need to like adjust anyone else. You know, if somebody comes to me looking for some type of guidance when it comes to these things, I'll tell them, what I've come to know, but everybody's experience is different. I mean, there's only so much one person can tell another person when it comes to experiencing these things, in my opinion. You have to come to conclusions on your own. You have to come to realizations in your own way. And nobody can hold your hand and do that. They can just kind of show you where things are, kind of.
Right. Well, I think, one of the things I've studied a lot is energy healing, and really in that kind of train of thought, the only one who can really heal your own energy is yourself. You can have someone who can kind of mentor you and coach you in it, but you really have to do your own work, and you have to do your own self-observation to see what seems to be stuck in your own personal energy, what you want to clear out, and in which direction you want to move forward in. And so, when people are out there saying that they're, energy healers and they're going to fix these things for you, well, really the most lasting, profound healing comes from your own self-observation and deciding that you are going to make that change and sticking with it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And there are tons of different cleansing and banishing rituals out there. Literally, you go into the New Age section, you can throw a dart and hit a book that'll have one in it. A set of rules for it. And my suggestion to everybody or anyone who wants to get into that type of thing is just find something that feels right for you. Don't try to follow any one path because somebody else went there. Find something that works for you, because if you try to follow a tired old path that doesn't work for you, it won't work for you. You're not going to force it into submission. I mean, this is you we're talking about, not the thing. You have to find that that amalgamation, I think, of things that work and work right for you.
Right.
And that may change over time.
Absolutely. And I think one of those things is where I meet a lot of people who are kind of going down the new agey route. And then one of the kind of knee jerk things is that they do a lot of yoga and they become vegans. And, because there is this,
I'm not becoming vegan, Holly.
Well, I'm not a vegan. There's this kind of perception out in the media that to be kind of spiritual, you have to eat plants and, do lots of like bendy exercise. And don't necessarily, I think that yoga is a good way that you can kind of clear your own personal energy and become very healthy. And
Well,
I think,
look at that Bikram guy. He gets his dirty dick sucked by so many women doing yoga.
wow.
Look at that
Yeah.
ugly fuck. He gets so much pussy doing yoga, Holly.
What? Yeah. For some, that might be an incentive to do that.
Fucking Bikram.
Yeah, back to the Kama Sutra, and but that doing that may or may not work for you. And if you're not comfortable and you're not, it isn't a system that you know is really in tune with who you are, you know, why waste your time doing something? And just like a diet thing, there are lots of diets out there. Veganism have been really promoted, but everyone's metabolism is different, and I truly believe that some people just need to eat meat, and you shouldn't be felt that you are less spiritual because you eat animals. You just need to come to the right kind of.
I'm actually considering trying the because they say it has good benefits for people with autoimmune diseases, and I have a form of arthritis which is autoimmune. And they say that the carnivore diet is really good for that, like that it helps reduce inflammation and helps with stuff like that. So I'm considering doing it. It would just be a pretty big step to try, not like a huge step, but to eat that way, because you eliminate a lot of other stuff. And I'm trying to eliminate sugar.
Right.
I'm down to fucking 2 teaspoons of sugar in my huge ass cup of coffee, which is great for me. Like, that's fucking groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I used to be Mr. fucking syrup coffee.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what you believe. The fact of the matter is that for most people, in your ability to tolerate sugar is varies across the population, and but lots of sugar in your diet can actually start to have a toxic effect. And one of those things is that if you have too much sugar, you start to develop neuropathy.
Diabetes.
The diabetes.
We get to diabetes.
Right, which is this horrible disease.
I get my diabetes testing supplies delivered to me.
I know it's a tough thing.
Well, I have diabetes in my family, so
yeah.
And it's one of the, like, I'm horrible with sugar. I used to be 100 times worse than I am now. I mean, literally, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager into my early 20s, my nickname was fucking Cupcake. My nickname was Cupcake because I would fucking go to the store and buy like fucking two packs of the fucking Hostess cupcakes and just devour the fucking things.
Yeah. I think there was some study that said that when they compared sugar consumption to cocaine consumption in rats or something, that the sugar was actually more addictive to the rats than cocaine.
Oh, they said that about cheese too, but I've done cocaine and I can tell you that neither one is as addictive as fucking cocaine.
So I don't know. I mean, that's just a study that I heard about.
Listen, I'm not calling up the grocery store at fucking 2 a.m. going, hey, I need some more sugar. That shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're not doing any like degrading sexual acts.
Yeah, no, I'm not wearing short shorts to a gay dealer's house for sugar.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no. They've said that about cheese recently. I'm sorry, but like I've done cocaine in the past, and I can tell you that the way that it affects you, I've eaten cheese, I've had sugar. Pretty sure that going without isn't gonna make me do the things that I did when I ran out of cocaine. I'm just fucking saying. Just saying. So, science, could we take another look at this, please? But again, it's also the same with people who try to say that marijuana isn't addictive. Okay? Marijuana is not physically addictive. Marijuana is psychologically addictive. you become addicted to the feeling of it. And people who try to say different, they're full of shit. And people who say that there's no type of withdrawal off weed are also full of shit. And I'm a weed proponent, but don't fill me with bullshit. It's like the one thing that's always irritated me is with the advent of the medical marijuana dispensaries and medical marijuana cards, you have people who will sit there and smoke and say, "Oh, I'm medicating." People will be like, "Are you getting high?" And they'll correct them. No, I'm medicating. This is my medicine. Okay. What's your dosage? How's your doctor treating that? How often per day are you supposed to be doing that? There is no, there's no guideline. And it absolutely infuriates me when I see someone who sits there and says, "Oh, I'm medicating." Fuck you. You're getting high. I know. I do the same shit. So don't bullshit a bullshitter. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
That is one of the more irritating things that I've come across in my time with that type of shit. But yeah, to get back, cleansing shit out. Like it's interesting that we're talking about this in particular. Like I literally just recently, and I talked about it on the Secret Show the other night. I had a day where I went like it was a day or so without any weed, and when I finally fucking smoked, I got so fucking cooked that I just fucking sat back and went, yeah, I've been missing this. And like, I really just want to take a reset, like a hard break, take a really good reset and sit back. And there's a lot I got on my mind when it comes to that. There's things I didn't talk about that night, or that I'm not going to talk about today, that I want to focus on and try to get routinely going again. I mean, I do want to get into like doing some yoga, and I want to try to continue to like eliminate, like I was saying, like the sugar out of my fucking diet and just get healthier.
Yeah. No,
I'm not getting any fucking younger.
Right. And I don't want people to think that I actually think that yoga is a really good way to, one, strengthen the body, to maintain flexibility. And if you're into the kind of metaphysics and energy movement part of it, it can clear out your energy field if that's something that you're into.
And if you like the Bikram guy, you can get your dick sucked. So, I mean...
right. I mean, there's those benefits too.
That's sick fuck.
There's other things too, like one of those things, and again, whether they are right or don't do it just because it's a fad thing. Do it because you have a true interest in it. Like detox diets, there's a lot about what to do if you need to like cleanse different organs. Do you do like the broth fasting thing? Lots of people saying like drinking lots of broth and then fasting and then kind of purging out the body makes them feel really great after and helps them lose weight and that kind of thing. If you
I
can
don't need
do
to
that,
lose any weight. I mean, just in case you were wondering, Holly, I'm a fucking stick figure. I have been since I was like fucking 10.
Well,
so basically my whole life.
Right.
I was fat as a baby. That's it.
Well, okay, yes, Chris. And I have met you in person, so I do know this, but other listeners may...
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, for me to fast, I'm sure fast, like, I don't eat a lot anyway. I'm not a person who eats a lot. I've often described how I eat. I eat like a fucking bird. But sometimes I'll eat a lot, but then I'll go like whole fucking periods of time where I won't eat at all.
Right.
I just don't. And my body doesn't want it. Like
your body.
People be like, "Are you gonna eat?" No, I'm not hungry.
But you kind of naturally do it. Whereas some people don't have that like natural mechanism, and they just kind of constantly eat, and it's beneficial actually for the parasympathetic system of the body to stop eating, because it gives it a chance to do its job and
Yeah,
really
I
digest and clear things out.
I
But
just eat. I eat when I'm hungry.
right,
That's
which is
and I grew up in a family where I was forced to eat no matter what.
mhm,
Like you get food put on your plate, you fucking eat it.
mhm,
And it when I got older, I was just like, no, I just want to eat what I want to eat, and that's it.
mhm,
Like I don't need to have all that,
right,
so I don't anymore. And I
right,
don't. I'm fucking like most of the time. I'm so close to just not even making arguments for it anymore.
right,
Just
yeah,
people like ask questions and just start shrugging my fucking shoulders. I just don't give a shit.
mhm, right,
I'm too old to fucking deal with that shit anymore. I'm too old for this shit.
right, right. Um,
Me, Mel Gibson, and fucking Danny Glover. We're too old for this shit.
right. So some of the other thing too is like clearing, like, the different parts of the body can kind of hold energy, and over your lifetime, if you eat a lot of processed foods, you can or have done lots of substances, or have worked in an environment that has a lot of chemicals, your body can absorb a lot of heavy metals and toxins from the environment. And so how do you flush that out of your body? Um, and I've read different ways to take care of that, like eating, you can get like chlorella, which is an algae in the heavy metals, and will bind to that, and that will help promote flushing heavy metals out of your body. Just drinking lots and lots of water, that will help flush things out. Um, Going through kind of like a high period of eating a lot of fiber, which will help move and pull things out of your body to help kind of like get things that are kind of been lodged in there for a long time out. And that's one of the mechanisms of like bladder cancer is, and in particularly people who have a long tobacco smoking history, is that they've absorbed a lot through the tobacco smoke, a lot of things it's accumulated, gone through their body, and it's accumulated in their bladder, and maybe they're not someone who's drank a lot of water and not hydrated and flushed it out, so it's just those, they're sitting in the bladder, and so that's why smokers have a greater risk of bladder cancer. So it's flushing that out to help kind of clear and cleanse the body.
Hmm. See, the thing is, though, I don't know with some of this stuff. Like, you see those people that smoke every day of their lives and drink, and they
Hmm.
live to be like fucking 80.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well.
my uncle, God bless him.
Hmm.
God bless him.
Well, you know what? As much as we want to believe it, the human bodies are not all created equal.
Yeah, no shit. But it's just, it's obviously, we should probably all try to stay healthy,
Hmm.
and take care of ourselves.
Hmm.
But then you hear the stories about like those guys that like health nuts, they run every day and then boom, die of a heart attack at like age fucking 38 or some shit.
Absolutely. Like, it happens. I don't understand it. You
And
just
then you've got
do.
guys, that just drink like fish
Hmm.
and smoke cigarettes, and they go on and on and on.
Well, and for whatever reason, their metabolism can handle that, and someone else's can't, or they're just wired differently, or maybe it's just their time. What I'm saying is, if you are feeling that inner urge to like clear and cleanse your body, these are things you can do, or these are things that the internet are saying that you can do. I think there are a lot of things that you should talk to
I'm
your
pretty sure
medical.
somebody winds my uncle up in the morning at this point.
Right. And yeah. Yeah. And I'm not saying go and like stop eating. Like, definitely, if you're going to do that, you need to talk to your medical professional and make sure you do it safely.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, don't go fucking fasting just to without trying to figure out the proper way to do it.
mhm,
Go to, like you were saying, your doctor or nutritionist, somebody, talk it out first. Don't just go
absolutely.
doing it.
And that's the same with changing your diet. Because you may be on a medication, and if all of a sudden you want to like maybe you're on a blood thinner, but you want to start eating a lot more vegetarian, eating all kinds of like leafy greens, but those things can actually have an effect on your blood thickness as well and make it thinner, and you could interfere with your medications that you're taking. So it's really important to, if you are on medications, that you check in with your doctor.
Yeah. All of that is very important. Because especially if you're under the care of a doctor, the doctor should know. And I mean, there's just there's all kinds of factors to take into effect when you do something like this, so don't go into it just all willy-nilly. 2:43 a.m. for me. Beauregard Wattlebottom.
That is a great name. Well, good morning, Beauregard.
Yeah, good
and
morning.
Anyone else who's listening, good morning. Thank you for listening.
4:43 a.m. in the morning.
Well, he's truly slipped into the night with us.
Yes, or the morning.
Good morning.
But yeah, and I think cleansing can be a good thing. Although I think there's a lot of stuff out there, cleansing products which are bullshit.
Absolutely.
There is, take this cleanse, and there used to be a huge market for when, and I'm sure there still is in the drug testing market for cleanses to get rid of weed and shit.
Yep.
They do not work. Fuck you. I've used them. I mean, the only thing I think you can do is dilute the test by over drinking water, and even that they have safeguards for now when they drug test you. I know that. And the way they're doing hair follicle testing now, I mean, if places just start going to that, everybody's fucked when it comes to trying to do that. So, but I did see that Nevada, I think it was, just passed a thing that bans most pre-employment drug testing for marijuana in the entire state.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep, they cannot do it in the state of Nevada, which is awesome. And I mean,
and really, if it's a state where it's legalized as recreational, they shouldn't be testing for it anymore.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. And I hope that the other states follow suit. I have a feeling that the one I'm in will fucking drag their feet. But I mean, we've been legal almost. We're one of the longest legal running states, and we still don't sell retail. California rolled it out like the fucking day after. Fuck, we voted on it. Boom, put the shops up.
Mm-hmm.
Why the state of Maine does not want to make tax revenue, or did not want to make tax revenue off marijuana sales for the past, I don't know, 3-4 years now. It's fucking beyond me. I'm absolutely baffled.
Yeah.
But the idiot that we had for a governor decided that it was a good idea to just stop that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to look into it more. You gotta look into. Fucking Colorado's doing it. What needs to be looked into? Extra tax money.
Right. Well, there's still some uneasiness and fear around it.
There shouldn't be. It's stupid.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but
completely ignorant. And the fact that we have no problem with people going to bars and drinking, but we have every problem with people getting high on weed it's baffling to me. It's absolutely baffling. But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I've said it for a while now. Hopefully, the federal legalization will go through, and it will get rid of a lot of bullshit. Mm-hmm. I think once that happens, the rest of it it'll go down the line eventually. Mm-hmm. Eventually, everybody will be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the pushback on it is absolutely baffling to me, because like I said, the tax revenue, the stuff that they could do with the money, of course the government will waste it and blow it and not appropriate it properly,
Right.
but let's give them some more money to fuck off with.
Right. Well,
That's what I'd say.
yeah.
Did you get did you get a chance to look through either of those books that I handed off to you?
Yes, I did.
Either one of them, anything you're
Well, right, the animal spirit guide. Okay, so you gave me two books. I think one was about animal spirit guides,
Mhm.
which I'm pretty familiar with, and kind of like the symbology of animal spirits. And it kind of is a how to, and that is a very shamanic thing
Mhm.
to kind of go into meditation and kind of connect with your animal spirits, and which is something I'd already previously done, but it was just kind of, it's always interesting to me to see what other
Right, right,
perspectives
right.
on the symbols of the animals, and from time to time, I mean, I'm not doing a lot of energy work on other people, but I do from time to time, and sometimes animal spirits pop up, um and whether that is just like a mental symbol of an energy, of a type of energy or whatever, it's interesting to see what other interpretations of that energy is, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So it's a valuable thing. And then the other book I need to kind of like um dig into a little bit more.
Yeah, that one's pretty in depth. That one's In the Shadow of the Shaman.
Think
I
so,
did
yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty in depth book. I think you'll like that one. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'd had those, and I don't really follow that tradition.
Right.
Never really have. It wasn't anything I was ever gonna get back into, so I figured they're better served with you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Um
Um, but yeah, it's kind of cool that we had decided to do this one, and I hadn't decided to do that. Made that choice until it was Friday morning.
well, right, and I mean, it was kind of funny, like
No, Thursday morning.
you were kind of like independently thinking about doing a kind of a personal detox thing to kind of reset yourself, and I independently, like, was looking up stuff because
Well, we had chosen this topic before I had come to that conclusion, and like I was like, oh, that'd be good because it just kind of follows like cleansings and banishings are integral to any spiritual practice. They're a part
right,
of, like I said, any of the books, any of the traditions that I've ever looked into, they all have their own form of cleansing rituals, banishing rituals. They're
right,
all there, and it's
right.
all very beginning stuff.
Well,
But
yeah, and
but
for
we,
us,
we
it's like good energetic hygiene.
right,
It's like you have physical body hygiene and you have energy body hygiene,
yes,
and it's important because you can energetically, as long with like right now we are not in physical contact with each other, but we are in energetic contact with each other, and
yeah, and
through
it's
the
all
magic of
it's
the
all
internet.
getting yourself into a different headspace.
Hmm.
It's all it is. It's just getting yourself into a different headspace. It's connecting with those things within you, those energies that are already present. That are already there. That's what you're doing. But I just found it interesting that before I had decided to, you know, um, had my little epiphany that we had decided to do this as the topic. And
Hmm.
then I come to that conclusion that, oh shit, I want to do this fucking reset thing for myself.
Hmm.
Um, and it's not like I'm not saying I want fucking out. I'm not like, oh, I'm getting completely sober. I'm going fucking straight laced. No, I'm just taking a break. This is like I'm like
It's like
fucking
resensitizing
yeah.
yourself
People
is
do
the
that goddamn sober October thing. I'm just
right.
doing it a little later.
Yeah, well, and I was looking at detox stuff because well, one, this is a good time of year for it because it's good to kind of, while in the wintertime in the northern hemisphere, while everything is kind of in that kind of hibernation mode, it's good to kind of get through that and clear out space, because then in the springtime things come forth.
Yeah.
And then I've been having a little bit of abdominal pain and this and that, so I was just looking at ways of how do I consciously interact with my own body to kind of clear out some heavy, what I feel like is personal heaviness.
Yeah.
And I had chosen another way to do this is, you may want to, with like, I don't take any over the counter medications, and I had found an herbal supplement that I felt like I wanted to take, so I was doing some research on it and just seeing how it would interact in the body and how it talked about energy clearing and stuff like that, and taking that a little bit to see how it made me feel.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where it's going to take me. I mean, I just know that I need to take a break from weed, and the reason I need to is because I'm not enjoying it like I used to. I don't get high and then sit back and like really watch a good movie and fucking fall into it, in the way I used to, or a video game, or whatever the case may be, something that I'm, trying to sit back and relax and enjoy with it. I wasn't having that same type of an experience anymore. And, having that little break made me feel it a little bit for a while. And I was just like, ooh, this is what I've been missing.
Yeah.
And if I've got to take a break to be able to enjoy it like that, then that's fine. I'm good with that. But it's one of those things where those types of things, they have to be conscious choices. You can't be forced into it. I mean, you can be, like, you can definitely be forced into it, but that doesn't do this. It doesn't have the same type of impact for you.
Yeah.
Like when you consciously choose to do something, to make change, that's a powerful thing.
Right.
So
yeah, and to kind of make a personal sacrifice for a little bit. Like that's kind of like the idea behind, a little bit of the idea behind Lent in the Christian tradition, is that, you give up something for a little bit. And
right. Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely something that I lost appreciation for. And a lot of it was because I used it religiously after I got sober from pain pills. To just kind of like level myself out. So it was a constant thing. And now I don't need it for that anymore. And I haven't needed it like that for a long time. But it was just a crutch that just sat there. And now I'm just like, oh, fuck, I forgot about why I really enjoyed it. So fuck it. Take a break, see what happens, enjoy it. And I mean, if I have to take regular breaks, I don't give a fuck. It does not bother me.
Yeah.
Because it means I get to enjoy something. Fuck yeah.
Well, and taking a break is really a good way to kind of see your relationship with anything. Like, whether it be soda, I'm going to just stop soda for a week and see how it shifts things. And it's not a permanent thing, and you're not having to be committed, and you're not having that kind of power behind it, like a resolution, like I'm going to stop soda. I'm going to stop, I'm not going to have any soda this week and just see how it makes me feel. I'm going to not have any sugar this week and see how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
It's a good way to kind of get some perspective on your relationship with whatever you're consuming, or maybe it's a person in your life, or an activity in your life. Maybe I'm on YouTube too much, so I'm gonna take a break from YouTube, or watching too much YouTube.
I watch a shit ton of YouTube. I'm stuck on that chapter channel.
Really? I've not heard of this.
Yeah. Check it out after the show or at some point. That chapter, it's the guy's from Ireland. He's a young guy. His name's Mike. And he reminds me of my son.
Oh, nice.
I think that's why I'm so like addicted to watching him, because he's fucking a smarmy asshole, like my son can be, which I adore about my son. He like can be such a dick sometimes. It's so fun.
Yeah, he's very assertive.
Yeah, and
You're like, yeah, Holly, that's a way to put it.
yeah. But yeah, you should check this guy out. That chapter on YouTube. He does all like true crime stuff. He used to do like urban legends and conspiracy stuff. And then he got away from that and started doing true crime, and I love his true crime stuff. It's I mean, there's some mysterious unsolved cases that he's done that I've watched his videos. I mean, I'm just intrigued. He has a great way of relaying the stuff. So, you know, I'll keep fucking rah in that chapter. That motherfucker. It's my new guilty pleasure. Like the minute one of his videos pops up, I've got to watch it. I'm a fucking little fanboy.
Oh.
Yeah. Like if they had a fucking that chapter convention, like one of those brony conventions, I think I'd go.
Impressive.
Yeah. But no, the dude's cool.
Cool.
I've really enjoyed his videos. I've watched just about everything he's got on there. All of his Reddit mysteries, all the ARG stuff. He's the reason I'm actually going to do a show on ARGs, alternate reality games. And it's just some fascinating shit. So if you haven't checked out that chapter, Holly, you should definitely take a little spin down. Your daughter would probably like that channel.
Yeah, well, you know, she loves the crime stuff.
And there's all kinds of serial killer stuff on there too.
Yeah, she's fascinated by that.
Yeah,
and
so
which actually as a mom kind of worried me for a while, but but you know what? It has given her so much street smarts. Like I was like, is my daughter going down this dark path? No, but she came from it from more like a, hey, this is what I need to look for to identify as someone who's dangerous in my environment. And I was like, oh, you know, that's actually a good thing.
Just stay away from those procedural TV shows.
Yeah.
Those fucking things. True crime and documentaries, great. The fucking Law and Order, CSI, fucking Criminal Minds. It's fucking, it's TV, people.
Yeah.
It's TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what have I been binging on lately?
I just finished season 2 of Lost in Space. That was good.
Season 2. So for me, like I sometimes, because I go on these like personal education like binges, I had to reel that in. So I've been watching Lucifer on Netflix as kind of my I have to like put my brain in like not thinking mode.
I've had shows like that. I've definitely had shows like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll wrap this thing up, Holly.
Yeah.
And any ideas for next week?
You know, it's kind of funny. I just kind of wait and see what like I kind of pops into my head. So I don't have a teaser for this week. Like,
okay, we'll figure something out over the the course of the week. This has been Slip Into the Night, episode 19, Cleansing and Banishing. If you like this little ditty, hit that little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe. You can go check out our good friend Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and youtube.com/cryptid tales. Check us out at anchor.fm/the 40 and slip and subscribe to the podcast. Check out Parabreakdown, youtube.com/Parabreakdown. And as always, check out my good friend Dred Funn at youtube.com/Dred Funn and dredfun.com. He's been doing some live streams on Twitch, and the newest one that he's done, as far as I know, the Daredevil. I watched the whole thing. I watched him live, and it was really great. So check out our good friend Fred over at youtube.com/Dred Funn. Watch some of them fucking time lapse videos, people. Enjoy that man. He does good work. And we will be back next Saturday morning. Bye-bye.